All right. We're going back to Modern Alien or Modern-ish. This came out late 2019. This is Alien Prototype by Tim Wagner. Now, if you follow paper movies, you might know that I have reviewed something that this author has written. He wrote the novelization of Halloween Kills, and I was not a huge fan of it. So I was not looking forward to reading this. Um, it's better than Halloween Kills, but it has issues. So what's this about? Well, Zula Hendricks, Brian Wood's favorite character. Well, she needs some money so she can continue hunting the xenomorphs down. So she's training these colonist security guards on this colony. That the colony happens to get a xenomorph egg, like a facehugger egg, from a spy, a corporate spy. This is playing off of this theme that was in Alien the Cold Forge. Remember that book? Where there are other colonists that they send spies, not colonists. There's other companies aside from Weyland-Yutani send spies out, and they're all trying to get the xenomorph. Just playing off of that idea, and they get a xenomorph. They impregnate a host that had this degenerate disease. It was like degenerate necrosis or something like that. Like it just rots you to death. Well, he was cured of that, but he still has a little bit of that in him because he just makes money off of being tested on. So he gets impregnated with the xenomorph. It hatches and it has cellular necrosis, and thus it's called the necromorph. Oh boy! So we get a sick xenomorph that is spreading cellular necrosis and still trying to breed, like continue its life cycle. And that's this book. What did I think of it? It's meh. It's very mediocre, but better than I expected. I expected garbage, to be completely honest. And we'll get into some of my big things of this book. So, Tim Wagner has some mess ups. As Xenopedia calls it, goofs. I call it bad bad editor continuity. Because, well, the first one is just bad continuity with the books at the time in the timeline. So, this is kind of a pseudo sequel to Alien Isolation. It happens after it. In it, the space station is being decommissioned because colonies aren't really taking off. But in Prototype, they say that space colonization is in its infancy. Infancy. That's just not true. That contradicts not just Isolation, but it's multiple books. The other thing is there's a character in this who tries to fight the necromorph, and she tries to use like a pole, but she gets impaled with the necromorph tail and drops it. But then when they find her body later, she's holding the pole. Like that's just a mess up from editorial. Someone should have caught that before that got published. That's embarrassing. Like, really? The other thing, this is very diversity quota. And there's nothing wrong with having a diverse cast, but the fact that since this is a book written in the last decade, it's gotta be in your face about it. And everyone has to be all these different things, Ooh. But here's the problem with this. We're in the future. Like, of course, it's going to be a melting pot of different races. one would think we wouldn't be racist anymore, you know? But we gotta just throw it in there. And I don't know if that's the author's, like, idea or if editorial made that happen because this is Titan Books. They are a big publisher, not as big as Del Rey, mind you, which I can almost guarantee Del Rey editorial would force them to do that, something like that. But it just feels clunky and bad. Positives for this book. I didn't hate Zula. In fact, I actually liked her as a character. I'm not a fan of Zula. It's primarily because she's not only a pet character, but she's a pet character of Brian Wood, who I think is possibly the worst comic book author that has ever existed. He literally has the brown touch when it comes to comics. Everything he touches turns to shit. So I was not thrilled to have Zula be one of our primary protagonists in this, but I liked her. She's one of the highlights of this book. Overall, what would I rate this book? It's probably a 3 out of 5. It's okay. It's readable. But the big thing with this book, this is the last mass market paperback Alien book. After this, they're either oversized paperbacks or small hardcovers. This size book, unless it's like a 2-in-1 or a 3-in-1 book, they don't make them anymore. Or it's just being phased out. And I fundamentally just don't like it. Because, especially, I haven't really read any of the what Titan Books is publishing. But the Del Rey oversized paperbacks are made like hot garbage. They are cheap pieces of shit. And they fall apart. It's like, are you kidding me? Like, take the Essential Legends collection, the Star Wars Essential Legends collection from Del Rey. Those books, I swear, all of them they're always dinged up at Barnes & Noble. You, like, look at it and it just starts to disintegrate. Like, just, really? And they cost far more than this. This retails at $8.99. That's a ripoff. I didn't pay that. I paid like $5 for this on Amazon during a sale. But those, they go for a minimum of like $11. It's not worth it. It's kind of horribly embarrassing that these books are just going up in because price. Like, new books are going up in price and they're just not made as well as these like little pocket books, basically, these mass market paperbacks. It's just a great format to read. It's very portable. I love these things, but they're really being phased out now, and I find it to be disappointing. So anyway, have a nice day.